Welcome back. I'm going to show you guys how I packed my bag for my New York State Board practical exam to become a licensed esthetician. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and like this video. There's also a little bell notification that you can hit to know when I upload. So most times everyone tells you wait till you finish to pack your bag. Don't do that. Do not wait till you're out of school to start making your kit. Start making your kit now while you're in school. Utilize your teacher. I utilize mine all the time. All the time. I'm in New York City, so it took me 1 month to do my written, and I had to wait another 2 months before I can do my practical. Ridiculous. Yes, I know, but that's how the schedule is. I had to schedule my test accordingly. In cases like this, see if your school has review courses. Mine had a hands-on and a theory review for the practical, but I could not make most of the days that they were available. I suggest if you have extra time before to schedule the date, but due to my schedule, the only date that I could actually make to review was the day of my actual practical exam. So I went to my school earlier in the day because my practical just happened to be in the evening. Most of the times it's in the evening hours if you're here in the city. So my practical was in the evening time. So I went to my class early in the morning. I did a little hands-on review, kind of went over things because you want a little bit of a refresher. You don't just want to wait and sit around and say, I'll just figure it out. It helps when you have someone there to say, no, you kind of missed this, or don't forget that, right before your test. Or do as many as you can. If you could do two, do two. If you can do one, do one. Do as many as you can before your actual practical date. What you wear, everybody wore something different. I wore what was comfortable to me, but they do say or suggest that you wear scrubs. There were people there in just a white overcoat. Some people had scrub tops on. I wore scrubs because I went to my school first to practice, so I was already in it, and I had planned on wearing it anyway. It's easy, it's comfortable, it's quick, and I already had them because I had them from school. Be early, not just on time. I didn't pack a very large bag. You honestly don't need to. You just need to be prepared. And if you're prepared from you're in school, the better it will be for you. I didn't bring much. This is it. This was my entire bag. I didn't have a lot of stuff. There was no need for me to bring a lot of stuff because I made everything compact and I compartmentalized everything so that my setup would be easier. So I have a few little baggies that I brought with me. I had about 6 small bags, Ziploc bags that I separated everything into. So it was easier for the setup because you have to set up your table according to how they're going to move along. Do your setup. You're going to need sheets and the towel, of course, and the headband and the hair cap, either or. And then we do the waxing portion and then the facial portion, and then they ask you about the movements, so on and so forth. Whatever questions they ask you are really up to them, so you cannot depend on it. You just need to know what everything is. So I set it up in accordance to what goes first, and I made sure I was used to setting up in a small area because you never know, because my station was definitely different from other stations that I saw. I had a small desk in front of me. Some people had a long desk that they could utilize that they were along the sides, but I wasn't so lucky because I made it on time, right on time to do my test. So my Ziploc bags were like this with each setup in it. This is my wax portion, and this is how small my containers are, and I'm going to show you what I put in them because you absolutely do not need a lot. It's very small as long as everything is labeled and they can see what exactly you're using. Then you'll be fine. So I had a sanitation bag, my waxing bag, my facials bag. I had a bag for my makeup, and I also had a bag where I put my disposables in because I honestly didn't like mixing them in with everything else. Like my disposables, I wanted together. So on a whole, I had them in one separate compartment, and then I had the bag where I had my mannequin head that we had to bring with us because we emulated everything on a mannequin head. It's no people, so we had to bring our own mannequin head. I got mine from my school, so I brought that one, and we emulated our movements, our waxing, and our makeup on the mannequin. This is how everything fits in my bag. You do not need a lot. It's compact. This actually was my gym bag, and I said, you know what? It's a perfect size for everything that I need. For my first bag, I set up everything that I initially needed in this bag. I actually had 2 containers, one for clean with makeup brushes and without makeup brushes, and everything else in here labeled: my water, my alcohol, my dirty container. Everything else in here I was going to use throughout the time that I was taking my test. So everything that I knew that I wasn't getting rid of when we had to clean up initially was in here, as well as my wax kit. This was my little wax bag. Look how small these containers are. I got these from Target, and I labeled them all and just dropped them in here. So when I had to take everything out, I knew just to pull this bag out, set it up, and then I moved on to my next bag, which was for my facial. Again, everything labeled in a bag. I got mine from Target. We shared all kind of stuff in my classroom. The container for the clean and dirty, they came up from Amazon. We all went on Amazon, shared the link, and we all brought the same containers because it helped our setup be easier. So after my wax setup, I knew to pull this bag out and set up for my facials. So that plus the initial sanitization that I had, those 3 bags were my initial setup. Plus my wipes or my spray that I needed to clean while we were getting ready and setting up. So this was my complete setup. Everything I took out in order of how to be set up. My mannequin head, my sanitation, everything went by bag, and it just made it easy for me to dump it back inside. It really was one small thing that I took with me, nothing super large like the suitcases and containers you do see people bring, but you honestly don't need it. You don't even use that much product that you have in the containers. That's why they can be so small, like literally small. I saw some really big containers that were unnecessary, but to each his own. I hardly made it through what I actually had in this bag right here. Hardly made it through it, and everything fit, and that's all I packed. And that's how I packed my bag. Nothing spectacular. Utilize your teachers. My bag was packed from the day I left school, and I had it sitting and packed ready to go till I went for my practice and till I took my state board for my practical. So utilize those teachers. If you have any questions, leave them below. I'll answer them to the best of my abilities, and let me know how you guys packed your bag, if you did anything different from me, if you're in the city, or even if you're elsewhere. Let me know how you packed your bag. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. Bye.